Welcome to Travis Laughs, where I practice doing comedy. When you walk up to a push door that you think is a pull door and you yank on it, and it doesn't open, doesn't your brain tell you you didn't pull hard enough? So you pull harder, and your brain, which is supposed to be your friend, says instead, well, you know what I bet it was? I bet the contractor here used a size 12 door and a size 11 frame. Just put your back into it. So you're really talking to... I bet what happened was there was some seismic activity, shifted the door frame a little bit. There might be a young child trapped in there that can't get out, doesn't have the upper body strength. You're probably going to be a hero. I wonder what shirt I should wear on the... Oh, it's a push door. Hey, Sharifa. She's seen me do that dance a number of times. She's even been gracious enough to play along with me, pretending that I was doing it on purpose to make her laugh. Sometimes you're so sure that a door is a push door that you're in full stride when you hit it. Boom! And then you're like, what the heck? Are they closed? You look at the times. No, they should be open. Oh no, I hope everybody didn't get COVID. Hang on, there's people in there. And they're looking at me. Oh, it's a pull door. Now, whether you actually go in or just leave at that point kind of depends on how long you were trying to enter and how many people saw you do it. Otherwise, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to get laughed at. I'm going to get this sutured up somewhere else. You got to be smarter than the tool. That's what they like to say. They always like to say that. You have to be smarter than the tool. Every job I ever had as a young man, people were always saying that to me. Travis, you have to be smarter than the tool. If you sit there toggling the on-off switch, nothing's going to happen until you plug it into the wall, Travis. You got to be smarter than the tool. Or, you know, yes, I did see you put the paper in it. That's the paper you want a copy of, Travis. It's asking for the paper that it's going to make a copy onto. Come on, man, you got to be smarter than the tool. Or, Travis, you have to yell clear every time before you use the defibrillator. Now look what happened. You have to be smarter than the tool, and blame, blame, blame. But that's not the point. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to become a smarter person. You have to go on living. I mean, obviously not that patient, but the rest of us. Now, words are also tools, and if used correctly can create understanding, camaraderie, unity. And unity is a very, very good thing according to pretty much all sociologists ever. But if you're not smarter than the words you're using, things can go wrong. You can create misunderstandings, division. You can create walls in between people. And building walls separating people is a bad, bad thing, according to exactly 1/2 of all US candidates during the last election cycle. 3 words that really lend themselves to making the user look stupid are words like literally, terms like read a book, phrases like I can think for myself. We've all heard people make an absolute train wreck out of the use of the word literally. Oh man, it is so hot out here. I am literally on fire right now. What? Oh shit! What the hell, man? Perhaps you're visiting somebody at their house. You're admiring their library. Oh, I see you got a lot of Stephen King novels. I like him. You're a big fan? Oh yes, he's an amazing storyteller, but sometimes when I'm reading him, he's so scary, I literally shit my pants. Where do you do most of your reading? I'll stay out of that part of the house. Drake's music is so sexy that anytime he starts singing with no effort on his part, literally every woman that hears it has to take her panties off right then. All right, so you mean live, right? You don't mean that any dude driving down the street blaring Drake's music that goes past the church, every soprano and alto in the choir is like, woo! That's not what you mean, right? You mean live, like in concert. So a few minutes into every sold-out Drake concert, you're telling me that his audience consists of a bunch of confused, distracted men and all the women naked from the waist down? I gotta tell you, I'm getting old. I'd rather be home watching Downton Abbey than be any part of that mess. Best day of my life was watching the Chicago Bulls win the 3rd championship. Michael Jordan, that man can literally fly. I think what you mean is he can jump really good, and it's amazing how long he can stay in the air. I don't think he can literally fly, though. That wouldn't even be logical. The man owns a Gulfstream G4 luxury jet. Why would he have spent all those tens of millions of dollars if all he had to do is take 3 bounding steps and leap into the air and land in Cincinnati for his next game? Obviously, he can't do that. He could. He could, but then when he was dominating on the court, his arms would be tired from flying. That's why he has the jet. You are literally the stupidest person I've ever known. Oh yeah, you're gonna use that word again. All right, if I'm so stupid, then how am I remembering all of these jokes, huh? How am I convincingly having this heated argument when I'm the only one here? More to the point, how could I possibly have set up my iPhone on that tripod with the application I downloaded to communicate with this microphone via Bluetooth and with this crosswind and the whole thing never tipped over, huh? Who's stupid now? God damn it. Where was I? Ah, yeah, read a book. That's what people say when they want to indicate that you don't have enough knowledge on a topic. You're not an authority. Wakanda's not even a real place. Besides, Black Panthers live in Asia. Read a book. All right, what that person means is research a couple of things on the internet. And that's not even foolproof by any stretch of the imagination, because yes, if you look up on the internet, it will tell you that Black Panthers do live in Asia. But if you keep reading, it will say they also live in sub-Saharan Africa. Some of them live in the United States of America. They live all over the place because they're very adaptable. They meet challenges and overcome them, which makes it the beautiful metaphor for the king of Wakanda. Now, yes, you might be right. There might not be a Wakanda. He might not be a real king. There might not be an idyllic nation hidden within the birthplace of the human race where everybody gets along and resolves their conflicts in a peaceful way, and they haven't been completely poisoned and ruined by European or other colonialism coming in and infecting them. You might be right, and I really want you to pay attention to this because it's super important. Ready? Fuck you! To actually read a book involves a manuscript with a binding, a front and back cover, maybe a dedication, if you're real fancy, an introduction and a glossary. It can just be a regular novel though. You know, sit down and open it up and read a novel, although be careful because from what I've recently learned, if you pick the wrong novel, you might literally need to stop at some point, jump up, start a load of laundry and get in the shower. Thank you, Mr. King. We all float down here, Georgie. And you'll float too. I think the point is, if you're going to read a scary book, make sure you're not full of shit when you start. Which brings us to our last thing. I can think for myself. Good for you. So can everybody. And we should walk through life with an idea of how things work, but with our receptors ready to take in new information so that we can adjust our view as needed. You know who doesn't say I can think for myself? People who think for themselves because they want more information to process. You know who does say, I can think for myself? People who are like, this is all filled up with ideas other people have already given me. If you give me more ideas, it's gonna mess up what's in there, and who knows what's gonna happen. And if I show up at work one more time with my pantyhose on my head, I don't know what's gonna happen. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, yeah, Travis, you wear pantyhose to work? Look, that's not what we're talking about right now, okay? Try to be smarter than the words that you're using. Politicians come across as being bad with words, but actually they're pretty good at it. I mean, we all love to talk about how politicians lie and they're so dishonest, but you know what? We have to take part of the credit for that. We built that. You don't believe me? You want an honest politician? Fine. Then don't vote anymore for the guy that says, I'm going to cut your taxes and I'm going to put more wealth in your pocket by creating social programs that benefit you. Don't vote for that guy. Vote for the guy or gal who's out there saying, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to double your taxes. We're going to cut social programs in half. And we are going to pay off 75% of this year's interest due on the outstanding debt we already owe. Vote for that person and see how fast politicians actually start being honest. And on the topic of politicians, can we all just calm down for a second and remember one very important detail? You are just a person doing the best you can in this mess we're all in. I'm just a person. All right? Donald Trump is just a person. He'd probably rather you don't point that out to him, but Joe Biden is just a person, and he has been for a really long time. Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, despite all visual evidence to the contrary, both of them are probably almost entirely, or at least largely, human. All right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, look. I have coworkers who are inconvenienced if I don't show up to work every day, ready to focus on the job at hand. I have loved ones, family members, who feel lonely or disconnected if I don't reach out and touch base with them every once in a while. I have internal organs here that don't function as well when I'm awash in a steady stream of stress. So I haven't been able to really investigate every piece of information that I've heard on the internet, whether it's the earth is flat or there's a lab somewhere that's trying to weaponize every germ that comes along, or there's the Clinton Foundation is funding a think tank of computer nerds in Wuhan trying to find everything that every Republican politician has ever said that sounds dumb as hell when isolated by itself. So I haven't been able to investigate those. I can't verify or deny those allegations. I will say this, though, about Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the things that I've heard that she's said. She's just a person. She has had disappointments and satisfactions in life. She's had people support her. She's had her share of haters. She is just trying to figure out how to live life, and she figures, hey, somebody has to have the ring of power. Why not the Dark Lord Sauron? That joke, I came up with that because I can think for myself. And if you didn't get it, read a book. Literally. See you guys next time. Up to work, ready to focus on the job at hand and get things done. I have dogfight. Communicate directly to the microphone, and with this cross breeze, the whole thing hasn't fallen over. Who's stupid now? Bluetooth, and the whole thing hasn't fallen over. Who's stupid now? Still me.